Hi, everybody. So I just have a few thoughts about collecting the primary data that you need to collect and also incorporating that data into the actual essay. So, first off, in terms of collecting data, a lot of people had talked about using Facebook to do surveys, and I think that's a great idea because you may have thousands of friends, and that would enable you to get feedback from a lot of people, at least potentially. They have to, of course, respond to your survey. Um, I'm wondering if on Facebook people might be concerned about answering truthfully since they may be a little iffy about the privacy issues on Facebook. So another option is to use SurveyMonkey, which is a free online tool where you can create a survey and then send a link to the survey to anybody you want to. You could potentially post the SurveyMonkey survey on Facebook. I don't know. It's up to you. It's just an option. In terms of creating a map, I highly recommend that you use Google's My Maps. I don't know if you know, but anyone who has a Google account can create a personalized map using Google Maps. And I've put some links and a video tutorial on how to use that tool. And let's see. Oh, for interviews, I highly recommend you record the interview because it'll be very difficult for you to both respond to what the interviewee is saying and write down what they're saying at the same time. So if they're willing to let you record it, I would definitely do that. And then in terms of presenting the data, a lot of students are really kind of thrown by this idea of incorporating their own data. And actually, it's not any different than incorporating any of the other research sources that you're used to using. So, for example, with an interview, you need to explain who this person is. You would say, according to Barbara, the school lunch lady at X elementary, and then you would include a quote from her. Okay, just as you would with Michael, you would say, according to Michael Pollan, food writer and journalist, comma, and then you would include the quote from him. So some students with with interviews get this idea that they're gonna like cut and paste their interview into the paper. No, 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 no. You're treating it like any source where you have to look at it and decide what is important and which elements of the interview relate to the other sources and the points you want to make. Okay, and so you'll just pull in individual quotes. You may not actually use very much of what might be a long interview. So keep that in mind. All right. The same, the survey data would work similarly. I mean, you hopefully will have some statistics and numbers to present based on your survey data, but also you will pull out hopefully individual quotes that illustrate a conclusion that you're coming to based on that survey. All right. And then the maps and images would work similarly. You need to set them up, explain what these pictures are of, where were they taken, and then you need to explain what they show a little bit. Okay. As far as images go, if you want to insert individual images one by one, you can just insert them into the Word document. However, those images wouldn't count towards the overall page count. Many people have talked about doing like a slideshow, similar to what the National Geographic's authors did. And I recommend that you use Prezi, which I talked about and showed you guys on the video about organization. And you can create a Prezi where it works. It's a slideshow, you'll just, I'll just press the arrow button to look through all of the images. You'll be able to upload the images pretty easily, and you'll be able to put captions and explanations on the images. And then, let's see, what haven't I covered yet? The map will work the same way. You'll have to set up what this map is of, and then you'll have just a link there to the map. I'll be able to go look at it, but you will again have to interpret, what does this map show? What does it mean? How does it provide some relevant evidence or information that relates to the rest of the sources and to your overall argument? So those are sort of the core questions. What does this evidence show? How does it relate to the argument? And then there's always the setup. You have to explain where this information is from, who this person is, etc. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. And again, everybody's doing different things. So please talk to me if you have questions about your individual project. All right?